Hi everyone, welcome to Math with RG. I'm Ryan. Let's dive into it. Today we're doing linear functions for Algebra 1. We've got rate of change and slope. Okay, so what is rate of change? Well, for rate of change for a linear function, it's going to be the same as for slope. So it's going to be the difference in y divided by the difference in x. Now, if we were talking about rate of change for other types of functions like quadratics or so on, then it would mean something different than slope. But let's focus today on the linear functions. So, here we go. Number one, they're giving it to us in the form of a table, and they're asking us, what is the rate of change? Okay, so again, it has to be the difference of y divided by the difference of x. So if we write that down, right, it would look like this. Let's take the first 2 points. So 5 for the y minus 0 for the other y, and then 1 for the x minus -1 for the other x, right? So I'm using these right here. So we have 5 minus 0, and that is 5, and then we have 1 minus -1, that means 1 plus 1, so that would be 2. So there's our answer right there. Now, for number 2, they could give it to us in another format, like a picture of a graph, right? So, what we can do now is we can just visually count the y part and the x part. But the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to mentally just look at this and say, okay, if I read this picture left to right, I'm going to go down a hill. If I'm going down a hill, then it has to be negative. So there's a negative rate of change or a negative slope. Okay, so I can look at it like this. I'm at -2, right? And I go down like this, all the way to here. Oh, sorry. What am I saying? I'm at 0 for the y, and I'm going down 3 places, right? So that's -3. And then I'm going to the right, right? So again, here's where we're at -2 for the x, and I'm going to the right to 0 for the x, so that would be 2 places. So my rate of change or my slope would be down 3, so that's -3 over 2, right? To the right 2. So that would be my answer. Okay, so this one just specifically says find the slope between the 2 points. So let's write out the actual formula for slope. M equals, now why am I writing M? Well, that comes from y equals mx plus b. That's an equation of a line. M is for the slope, b is for the y-intercept. So we have y minus y, right? So it looks like this, y2 minus y1. So I'm basically just saying the second y minus the first y. And then it would be the second x minus the first x. Now, just so you know, I could also write it like this. M equals, I could write the first y minus the second y. If I do that, then I would have to do the first x minus the second x. Either way works. So, let's type it in now. Or let's write it in, I guess I should say. Okay, so we have the second y, so let's call that 3 minus the first y, which would be 7, over the second x, which would be 5, minus the first x, which would be 2. 3 minus 7 is -4, and 5 minus 2 is 3. So you can see our final answer is -4 over 3. Now, I'll show you that this still works this way, right? So we just flip them around, right? The first y minus the second y, and then the first x minus the second x. So that would be 4 over -3, right? Same thing, -4/3. Okay, let's do one more example. So we have m equals the second y minus the first y, but notice the first y is negative, so I still have to put another negative sign. And then we have the second x minus the first x. 6 minus -4 is 6 plus 4. 6 plus 4 is 10. And then we have -8 minus 0. That would just be -8. If we reduce that, right, the number 2 goes into both numbers. So 10 divided by 2 would be 5, and -8 divided by 2 would be -4. So we have -5/4, and that is our answer. All right, that's it for today. Great work. Great job on finishing today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, tell your friends and family. And if you want to dive deeper into chapter test work, you can check out my school platform, skool.com. The link will be in the bio below. And if you want more information on one-on-one tutoring, you can check out my website, rgtutors.com. Thank you again, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye for now.